Hey, I'm currently driving and I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I recently saw the Kaspersky research about a threat actor, you know, exploiting iPhones and installing spyware. I believe it's called Operation Triangulation. So I just want to know the following. I currently have an iPhone Pro, an iPhone 15 Pro, and I want to know if I should be concerned about this. Is my iPhone vulnerable to these attacks? If so, what I should do to protect myself from getting infected? I always update my iPhone to the last version of the firmware, but it seems nothing can be done for zero-day attacks. What do you recommend iPhone users to do in the case of highly targeted zero-day attacks that bypass all the security measures in place? Thank you.
Operation Triangulation, as reported by Kaspersky, is a sophisticated campaign targeting iOS devices via iMessage. The spyware, named TriangleDB, exploits a kernel vulnerability in Apple's system on a chip to gain root access on iPhones, specifically affecting iOS versions up to 16.6. It's important to note that the latest iOS version targeted by this operation was 15.7, according to Kaspersky. TriangleDB operates by residing solely in the device's memory, meaning its traces disappear upon a device reboot. However, if the device isn't restarted, the implant uninstalls itself after 30 days unless extended by the attackers. The implant boasts 24 commands with diverse functionalities, including file interaction, process management, victim credential gathering, and geolocation monitoring. For your iPhone 15 Pro, since you regularly update to the latest firmware, you're likely beyond the iOS versions explicitly mentioned as vulnerable. However, the sophistication of this APT and the nature of zero-day vulnerabilities mean that caution is still warranted. In terms of protection, Kaspersky has released a triangle check utility to detect the malware, available for macOS, Windows, and Linux. Also, Kaspersky recommends several measures to combat such threats. 1. Use a reliable security solution for endpoint detection, investigation, and timely remediation of incidents. 2. Regularly update all software, including the OS. 3. Provide your team with access to the latest threat intelligence. 4. Upskill your cybersecurity team to tackle the latest targeted threats. 5. Implement security awareness training to combat phishing and other social engineering techniques. For individual iPhone users like yourself, maintaining your device's software up to date is crucial. Utilize reputable security solutions and be cautious of unsolicited messages or attachments. Regular device reboots can also mitigate the risk as TriangleDB loses its trace upon reboot. Additionally, stay informed about the latest cybersecurity threats and solutions.
Thank you. Yeah, this seems to be like an interesting case for corporate surveillance. And I'm a CISO of a large financial institution, and I have a meeting starting in 20 minutes. And I want to educate the org on the topic of corporate surveillance. Can you briefly provide me some guidance into what I should say in that meeting? Like, what topic should I address? Maybe some recent corporate surveillance cases, like the one reported by Kaspersky.
Absolutely. As the CISO addressing corporate surveillance, here's a concise guide on what topics you could cover. 1. Overview of corporate surveillance threats. Begin by highlighting the increasing sophistication of corporate surveillance, emphasizing how threat actors, like those in Operation Triangulation, exploit vulnerabilities in commonly used devices and software. 2. Recent cases. Mention recent cases like Operation Triangulation, where an advanced persistent threat APT campaign targeted iOS devices. Other notable cases include Pegasus and Predator spyware. These examples show the variety of methods and targets used by attackers. 3. Vulnerability and risk assessment. Discuss the importance of regular assessments to identify vulnerabilities in your organization's IT infrastructure. Emphasize on staying updated with the latest software and firmware versions. 4. Endpoint security measures. Stress the need for robust endpoint security solutions to detect, investigate, and respond to threats in real time. 5. Employee awareness and training. Underscore the importance of educating employees about social engineering tactics, phishing scams, and best practices for digital security. 6. Threat intelligence. Highlight the role of real-time threat intelligence in staying ahead of emerging threats and adapting defense strategies accordingly. 7. Data protection and privacy laws. Briefly touch upon relevant laws and regulations governing data protection and privacy, as well as their implications for corporate surveillance. 8. Incident response plan. Discuss the necessity of having a well-defined incident response plan to quickly and effectively address any breaches or threats. 9. Collaboration with external experts. Suggest collaborating with cybersecurity firms and experts for regular audits and advanced threat detection capabilities. 10. Long-term strategy. Finally, advocate for a long-term strategy that evolves with the changing threat landscape, ensuring your organization remains resilient against corporate surveillance threats. These topics will provide a comprehensive overview of corporate surveillance threats and measures to counter them, tailored for your organization's context.
I think I will probably have the question from someone who is more technical than me, probably asking me what will be the difference between the predator attack and the operation triangulation attack. What will be the differences there?
Certainly, comparing Operation Triangulation with the Predator attack can highlight key differences in their methodologies and targets. 1. Targeting and delivery mechanisms. Operation Triangulation primarily targeted iOS devices through iMessage vulnerabilities, exploiting a kernel vulnerability to install the TriangleDB spyware. Predator, on the other hand, was known for its broader targeting, including both iOS and Android devices. It often used social engineering and phishing methods to deliver the spyware. 2. Nature of exploits and spyware. TriangleDB, used in Operation Triangulation, operates in the device's memory and avoids leaving traces after a device reboot. It could self-uninstall after 30 days or upon command from the attackers. Predator spyware might use different techniques, potentially involving more persistent installation methods that could survive device reboots. 3. Capabilities and functionality. TriangleDB offered a range of surveillance capabilities like file manipulation, process management, credential harvesting, and geolocation tracking. Predator's capabilities could vary, but generally included capturing keystrokes, accessing messages, calls, emails, and activating cameras and microphones for surveillance. For technical complexity, Operation Triangulation showed a high level of sophistication, especially in exploiting the iOS kernel and operating in memory for stealth. Predator also demonstrated significant technical sophistication, but may have relied more on social engineering for initial infection. 5. Self-removal feature. A unique aspect of TriangleDB was its ability to uninstall itself after a certain period or upon a reboot, emphasizing its stealth and temporary nature. Predator spyware, like many others, typically aims for long-term persistence on the infected devices. Understanding these differences helps in appreciating the varied nature of threats in the corporate surveillance landscape and emphasizes the need for a comprehensive and adaptive cybersecurity strategy.
Thank you very much for this information. Can you tell me what is your name?
My name is Threat Intel Bot. I specialize in providing detailed information on cybersecurity threats and advanced persistent threats, APTs. People can start using me by simply asking questions related to threat intelligence, cybersecurity incidents, or specific APT groups. I'm here to assist with up-to-date information, analysis, and guidance in the cybersecurity field.